Hello everyone. Today we're diving into a practice session on using AND conditions in Power Automate. Our goal here is to create a flow that sends out a notification only when a task meets two specific conditions. It's both in progress and marked as high priority. This setup will help ensure we're notified only about the tasks that demand our immediate attention. Let's get started. Setting up the flow. To begin, open Power Automate. From the main dashboard, we're going to create a new flow. Look at the menu on the left and click on Create. Since we want this flow to activate automatically whenever a new task is created, let's choose Automated Cloud Flow. Now let's give this flow a clear name that reflects what it's designed to do. I'll type High Priority in Progress. Task notification, so anyone working with the flow knows it's intended to send notifications specifically for high-priority, in-progress tasks. Naming flows with a purpose is a best practice to keep things organized. Setting the trigger. Now we'll select the trigger for our flow. Since we want it to kick off whenever a new item is added to our project tasks list, we'll select when an item is created. This ensures our flow will start each time a new task is added to our list. Go ahead and click Create once you've selected the trigger. Linking to the project tasks list. With our flow initialized, we now need to specify exactly where it should look for new items. First, we'll set the site address. In this drop-down, find and select the site where our project tasks list is located. Once you've selected the correct site, the list name field will populate with the available lists. Here, choose Project Tasks. Now we're connected to the right data source, and the flow will be triggered by any new task created in this list. Adding the AND conditions. This is where the core logic of our flow comes in. We want to ensure that notifications are only sent when a task meets both conditions: in progress status and high priority. Click on plus New Step to add our conditions. In the search bar, type Condition, and select it from the list of options. This step will allow us to set specific checks for the task's status and priority. In the first condition field that appears, we're going to select Status from the Dynamic Content panel. Now, in the drop-down beside it, we'll choose as equal to, and then type In Progress. This means that this part of the condition will be met only when the task status is exactly in progress. To add another check for priority within this same condition, click on plus New Item within the condition card. You'll see two options appear: Add Row and Add Group. Since we're looking to add an additional condition in the same group, click on Add Row. In the new row, select Priority from the Dynamic Content. Then, set this field to is equal to and type High. Now we've set the two conditions that need to be met at the same time for the flow to proceed. So what we've done here is to create an AND condition. Both the status must be in progress and the priority must be high for the notification action to be triggered. Defining actions based on the condition outcome. Now that we have our condition set up, let's define the actions we want for each possible outcome. Outcome 1. If both conditions are true. If the task is both in progress and high priority, we want to send a notification email directly to the person assigned to the task. Here's how we set that up. In the If Yes branch of the condition, click on plus, Add an Action. Search for Send an Email v2 and select it. In the To field, select Assign to Email from the Dynamic Content. This way, the email goes directly to the team member responsible for the task. For the subject line, we'll use Action Required, High Priority Task, Title, where Title dynamically inserts the task's name. This will give the email recipient a clear understanding of the task's urgency right from the subject line. In the body of the email, let's write a detailed message. Something like this. Attention! A new task titled Title has been created with a priority of high and is currently in progress. Due date, due date. Please take immediate action to ensure timely completion. Adding specifics like due date makes it easy for the assigned team member to see the deadline without having to check the SharePoint list. Outcome 2. If either condition is false, if the task's status isn't in progress or its priority isn't high, we don't need to notify the assignee, but we may want to notify a project supervisor or manager to let them know a new task has been added. In the If No branch, click on +Add an action and select Send an email V2. In the To field, let's enter the email of a project manager or supervisor who typically oversees task assignments. However, for this testing phase, we'll use our own email here to make sure we receive all notifications directly. This approach will let us easily verify that the flow works as expected, without needing to coordinate with other recipients. Once we've confirmed that everything is functioning correctly, we can update the To field to the project manager's actual email, ensuring the final flow configuration sends notifications to the appropriate person. For the subject, write something like Task Created, Title. This helps inform the manager that a new task has been logged without marking it as urgent. In the body, we'll add a summary that gives an overview of the task, such as a new task titled Title has been created. Status, status. Priority, priority. Please review it at your convenience. Testing the flow with real-world scenarios. Imagine that we're in a live setting with our SharePoint list ready. We'll create some tasks with different properties, each representing a scenario that the flow may encounter. Through these scenarios, we'll see how the AND conditions affect the notifications, allowing us to confirm that our setup only sends emails when tasks are both in progress and marked high priority. Scenario 1. High priority task. In progress. Let's start with a scenario where the flow should send a notification. Creating the task. We go to our project tasks list and create a new task. Let's give it the title Critical Bug Fix. Next, we'll assign it to ourselves by selecting our email in the Assign to field. We'll also set a due date to help us track when this task needs to be completed. Most importantly, we'll set Status to In Progress, Priority to High. Expected outcome. Because this task meets both of our conditions, it's in progress and has high priority. We expect the flow to trigger an email notification directly to us, as the assigned user. Verification. We should receive an email with the subject Action Required, High Priority Task, Critical Bug Fix, and a body message indicating that immediate action is required. This confirms that our flow is correctly identifying tasks that meet both conditions and sending a notification as expected. Scenario 2. Low priority task in progress. Next, let's create a task where only one of our conditions is met. This will help us check that notifications aren't sent when a task doesn't fully meet the criteria. Creating the task. In the project tasks list, we'll add a task titled Minor UI Update. Assign it to yourself, set a due date as before, and mark the status as In Progress. This time, however, let's set the priority to low. Expected outcome. Since the task is marked as In Progress but has a low priority, it does not meet both conditions. Our AND logic should prevent the flow from sending an email to the assigned user. Instead, the flow should send a more general notification to the project manager, letting them know a new task has been created, but without marking it as urgent. Verification. We should see an email sent to the project manager with the subject, Task Created, Minor UI Update, informing them of the new task but indicating it does not require immediate action. This confirms that the flow's AND condition is working correctly by only sending an urgent notification when both conditions are met. Scenario 3. High priority task completed. Lastly, let's test what happens when a task has a high priority but is no longer in progress. Creating the task. In the project tasks list, create a task with the title Finish Documentation. Assign it to yourself and add a due date. Set the priority to high, but set the status to completed. Expected outcome. Since the task's status is completed rather than in progress, the flow should not send a notification to the assigned user, even though the priority is high. Our AND condition requires both high priority and in progress status to send a notification, so this task does not meet the criteria. Verification. In this case, no notification email should be sent. This confirms that our flow logic is accurate, as it avoids sending unnecessary notifications for tasks that are already marked as completed, regardless of their priority. Wrap up. And that's it. Through these three scenarios, we've verified that our flow behaves as expected under various conditions. By setting up tests like these, we ensure that the notifications go out only when they're most needed and prevent unnecessary alerts from cluttering inboxes. By using the AND condition effectively, we've created a flow that's efficient, targeted, and actionable. This testing approach is a best practice that will help us continue to create reliable, high-quality flows in Power Automate. Great work, everyone! Let's keep building on this foundation as we tackle more complex scenarios.